Alright students, so I want you to pay attention to this vine here. Alright, I don't know if you're seeing it properly because of the glare and whatnot, right? But you might see some brown sections and some green sections. Ignore it. Anyway, this vine is actually extending from that section of this particular line, right? And it's actually pulling down the line, by the way. Look how thick it is. It's actually extending all the way up on this side. But it is not ending there. Alright, it will continue eventually, right? It will continue to grow. This is what you call the bird vine. It is a very distinctive parasitic vine, or in any cases, like I mentioned to you in class, it is actually what you call a strangler in some ways. Alright, this particular vine can actually kill a big tree. It eventually results in a very thick, alright, trunk, which eventually wraps around the entire tree and engulfs almost the entirety of the tree. And basically it will exploit any little section in and out this particular tree itself. Now students, this being said, you have to understand, you have to cut the little area, the little roots and whatnot in there. So as you can see, I tried that, and you will see some areas becoming brown, but there are in fact certain green areas here. That means there are in fact certain roots still intact. Alright, so this is a very distinctive type of vegetation here, which is actually existing in the rainforest as well. We also have here in Trinidad, because we are in fact very close to South America, just 10 degrees north. Alright, let's go in for a close-up view. You will actually see this section here is very green, right? And these other sections here are in fact brown. And the reason why they are brown is because some of the roots were basically emanating from the ground there, and they were coming up. Alright, and we actually had to cut them. And what happened is that as you cut them from the roots, this is actually one of the broken cuts here, and you will actually see it will dry out eventually. But the other green sections simply indicate that there are in fact certain other root systems which are in fact very much functional. As you can see, it is still very green. Now to kill this thing is very difficult. A couple of years ago, right in that section where the pole is, right, we actually had what you call a peach tree. I think I mentioned this to you in class. And that particular peach tree was actually killed by this type of vine. Right, you call it the bird vine. This is so destructive, it could actually kill even mango trees and stuff like that. To put things in perspective even further, let's take a little stroll. Right where this immortal tree is here, right, there was in fact a Dudus mango tree. Right here in the same spot. And this Dudus mango tree, it was always bearing and whatnot. And the fact of the matter is that that same type of vine, as you can see, it is in fact spreading all over a different vegetation region and whatnot here. That same type of vine was responsible for engulfing and perhaps covering that particular, not perhaps, was definitely covering that particular tree. And it obviously would restrict the photosynthetic processes of the tree itself, and that would eventually result in the death of the tree. Like I mentioned to you earlier, sometimes little fractures and little, there would in fact be little breakage or little openings and little spaces and whatnot in the roots or the barks or the trunks. This particular type of vine will actually find a way into that and tend to expand and exploit and actually in some way excavate into the environment, all right, of that particular tree, and basically absorbing nutrients and stuff like that. Now students, this is by no way to say that this particular vegetation is very bad and whatnot. It is, yes, because it affects the economic output of any given area and stuff like that. Alright, but this doesn't mean it is not functional. It has a role. Alright, in the rainforest, in the tropical rainforest, you have to understand that every single vegetation has a role. As a matter of fact, in the entire environment. Now we can see the negative effects of this because it is affecting our, perhaps the aesthetics or the physical outlook of an environment, or it may also affect our economic output, especially if it affects our agricultural crops and stuff like that. Alright, or it might also affect infrastructure, because this could actually pull down this vine, this line, sorry. Alright, this line could actually fall down if enough weight is actually given. And I remember I was cutting it with these shears, and you had to be very careful, because the fact of the matter is that, I mean, you don't want to shake up the line to the point it fall down and whatnot. Now let's view somewhere down here. This is in fact one of the severed vines. And from this section here, sometimes they even send little connecting roots that even, let me see if I could adjust the video, right? Interconnecting roots, and which actually holds on and perhaps even exploit. If this happens to touch water, all right, this will eventually become very, very deep, all right, and go into the soil and whatnot. Okay, so just to put it in perspective, this is a vine which is on a line, all right, just below the mango tree. And look also on this side, you will see how it is in fact extending. All right, let's see if I could give a better view. It is extending towards the other vegetation, all right, the other vegetative regions here. Right here, there was in fact a mandarin tree, all right, and as a matter of fact, it's inside here somewhere, but this vine will definitely kill it, for sure, without a doubt. All right, so I hope this was all informative for you all to see some of the type of vegetation types or species, if I should say, very specific, because there are multiple different types like these, which can actually exist in a given environment. That vine straight across here, honestly, I can't remember the name. But that is also a type of vine. It suppresses the vegetation, but it doesn't really kill the vegetation per se. However, it's advisable you remove them, especially from your trees, or if you have fruit trees and stuff like that. It will affect the productivity and whatnot. All right, so I hope this was informative. Oh, by the way, that's Romeo. That's my cousin dog. Okay. Anyways, I'll keep good.